is the 77 WABC minicast.
The kid sitting in front of me right now, I think he's, 21 maybe? How old are you now?
19.
19. His name is Brilyn Hollyhand.
Yes, sir.
He's already a major superstar. Again, found in the fourth grade by the late, great Charlie Kirk, and has gone on now to speak at many campuses across America. Very courageous thing to do. And President Trump loves him, and we rely on this kid, much like Scott Pressler, to get the young vote out there for the young people across the country. And he's had great success the last couple of years, and now he's got a brand new book out. It is Brilyn Hollyhand's Make America Talk Again. It's not even his first book. He's 19. He already wrote One Generation Away. This one is How to Save Humanity from a Screaming Culture. Book number 2, Brilyn, congratulations.
Thank you, Sid. I couldn't come to the Big Apple without going on the #1 show in New York City, so I'm honored to be here. President Trump loves the show. It's his favorite, so we had to stop by, and you've been such a good friend for so many years. Last time when my first book came out, we walked out of your studio announcing it, and the book hit #1 on Amazon.
Is that true?
So we're hoping we have some success today. So
well, I can't promise you that, but that's big. Thank you very much, and thank you for the kind words. And President Trump does love me, love the show. He loves you, too. And again, you are a very important piece for us because there is no more President Trump. Like him, hate him, you're mad about Iran, I don't care. I love him, okay? But he's gone in 3 years. Marco Rubio, you hope to God. I don't think J.D. Vance is even going to run. I think he has so fallen out of favor with so many Republicans. His relationship with Tucker Carlson is killing him. He knows that. He's talking about, I want to spend time with my family. He's reading the tea leaves. He don't got a shot. Jews are upset with J.D. Vance, too. So hopefully it's Marco Rubio, but either way, we need somebody to replace President Trump, and something tells me, Brilyn, you will play a major role in that process.
So the idea for Make America Talk Again came from my help with Trump's campaign. A specific story, we were planning the convention that you were at. You and I hung out together, and they were theming each night. So Make America Strong Again, Make America Safe
RNC,
Again, the
right.
RNC.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make a theme for each night. And we're in this Zoom call, and it finally gets to my turn. And of course, everybody's probably like, oh, we're giving this kid some time. He's still got baby fat on his cheeks. And they said, Brilyn, do you have any ideas? And I said, what about Make America Talk Again? And the call went silent. And they were like, what does that even mean? And I was like, well, I travel to campuses for a living, and everybody screams, but nobody talks. And ended up, they didn't use the idea, and we're going to use it in this book because of what you just said. President Trump's in the Oval Office because of Gen Z. That's awesome. How do we keep the Republican Party in the majority, though? We keep earning Gen Z's vote, not acting like we're entitled to it. Talking to Gen Z is how we earn it.
And you still speak on campuses. I know that last year, months ago, not last year, this year, you did like a 10-campus tour.
Campuses. We announced on your show.
You announced on my show right after Charlie was murdered.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, your lovely mother, she's terrific. She's here every time. I love her. And she's got to be scared to death when you go speak at these campuses. And you even admitted back then that, sure, you know, after Charlie was murdered, it's a little scary, but that's not going to stop you. And you're still doing those things, aren't you?
Yeah, there was a moment, Sid, I'll just be honest with you. I've done this since the 4th grade. I've always enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. There was a day or two after the assassination, we met with a security team for the first time. Never had to think about that before.
Wow.
You know, a college freshman walking to class had to have security. And they plopped down a binder in front of me, thicker than my homework assignments, full of just death threats. And I don't know what it is. I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? Is this the assignments that I missed? And they said, no, this is your death threats from the past few hours. And it was how intense, you know, this political setting was.
Just that day.
Just that day. Just from the past few hours.
Come over here for a second.
And it was a scary
Ms.
moment.
Hollyhand, come here. Go to the microphone for a second.
And it was a moment where we said, you know, am I going to step away from this?
Right.
Is this a time where I'm going to say, oh, it would be easier to put down the microphone to, you know, go back to the conformity of class?
Of course.
And we said, we're not going to do that.
We're
not going to be fearful because the verse that is the life verse of this book, when you open the first page, this verse will be on there. It's the story of Isaiah. Here I am, send me. Isaiah wasn't some old wise prophet with a gray beard and a lot of experience in the Bible. He walked into a church one day to pray to God. A voice of the angel came and said, whom shall I send? Now, if I was Isaiah, I would have been looking around like, surely God's talking to somebody else, right? Like there's some really old experienced Pharisee. No, just this young up-and-comer named Isaiah responded back, here I am, send me. He didn't say, Lord, here I am, send me if you make the path easy,
right?
If you make it safe, if you make it comfortable, if you make sure I don't lose friends or followers. No, he said, here I am, send me. So every day I walk the streets of New York, onto a campus, into this tour, into class, I say, here I am, send me, because that's the most important thing we can do.
Let me talk to your mom, though, for a second. Easy for you to say that. You're a kid, 19 years old, you got balls of steel. But your mother, who diapered and raised you and fed you to get to this beautiful stage you're at right now, when you see a binder of death threats, I'm just curious, my gut tells me your reaction was different than Brilyn's. Maybe it wasn't. You tell me.
Well, my husband went down to the meeting at Auburn with Brilyn when he's talking about. But I'll say from the very beginning, my husband nor I are political. Brilyn's not getting this from us. He didn't grow up going to political rallies. In fact, I attended my first political rally with Brilyn. Oh. And every time it's funny because people think, like, oh, it's great you brought your son. No, my son brought me. And so from the very beginning, this has been like a God-given passion, it's something God's instilled in him. So my husband nor I feel like it's our place to stop what God has started.
That's a great answer.
And so even though, like, after the Auburn thing came up, Brilyn asked, like, what are your thoughts on this? And I said, God knows the number of hairs on your head. He knows the number of days you're going to be alive. You praise him and speak his name until your time comes.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
And so that was my answer, and that's still my answer.
That's a great answer. That's Brilyn's mom. No wonder this kid is such an amazing guy. Well, tell me this, then. What else? Yeah. That was really terrific. Thank you, Ms. Hollyhand.
Because of these threats is why I wrote this book, though. I mean, I've stood face-to-face with classmates of mine who have said they want to kill me on a campus. I've stood face-to-face with people that, just scream F you, F this, and they don't want to have a conversation. And it's terrifying how we got here in a country 250 years later where we can't even talk to each other as citizens. Yeah. And so this is a how-to guide. It's just a step plan. Everybody looks at Charlie's debates, and we still rewatch them like, how did he possibly do that? I've gotten to go to the campuses and experience some of that, and we put a plan for more people to do it. I don't want to be the only person debating on campuses. I want everybody to join me. This is a how-to guide to do it, so every student can have conversations in the lunchroom, in the classroom, in the living room, in the dorm room with their peers.
You've inspired my son, Gabriel. You guys had a nice phone conversation.
Got to hop on the call. He's such a cool guy.
Thank you.
Everybody listening knows that Sid's a good radio host. Nobody knows he's such a great dad. He is raising the kid right. And he's a cool guy.
Now, he loves you, and I put him on the phone with you one day. I actually texted him, and I go, will you talk to my son? He goes, sure. So he called you moments after. You guys had a great conversation.
Awesome.
But you've inspired him. He's 17, a little younger than you, and he looks up to people like you. So when people read this book, you want them to come away with what message exactly? What's the message?
Yeah, I don't want them to read the book and go take a nap. I want them to read the book and go out and have conversations courageously. And I understand that a lot of my peers that I talk to on campuses say that they write two versions of every paper. One they believe in and one they know is going to get them a good grade. I know so many people that say, I wanted to come to your speech last night on the campus, but I think I'd get blacklisted for my job, or I think I'd get kicked out of this club, or I think I'd lose this friend or this follower. I want people to be bold and courageous, just like the humility of Jesus Christ. We talk about it all the time. He wasn't a guy that came into rooms and was scared of, some people might be offended if I say this or do this. He was killed.
Exactly opposite.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
People continue to have this courage, and it's not going to be easy. I'll be the first person to tell you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say this is a cakewalk. It's not at all. I shouldn't be looking over my shoulder with my backpack walking to class, but it's part of this. And again, we could easily step away. We could have a lot safer life, just like Charlie, for example. He could still be alive, tucking his kids into bed, from a podcast studio, from the comfort of a studio, but he said, I want to go out, I want to be on the campus, I want to have the conversations. We cannot let that die with it. The coward that killed my friend attempted to silence this movement, if anything, it woke us up. This book is a testament of that.
Brilyn Hollyhand, he's an amazing kid. The book is Make America Talk Again, How to Save Humanity from a Screaming Culture. Talking about screaming. So these ICE agents, these poor guys, so these Democrats, they want us to take the masks off. That's a great idea. They show up at judges' houses. You know that, right, Kavanaugh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. They show up in all these places looking to kill us. They're looking to kill us, and they have. Now they want us to take the masks off the ICE agents. So what happens? The ICE agents are at the airports helping out, just trying to help out, and the masks are off. And people are screaming, the screaming culture at the ICE agents who are just trying to help out because the Democrats have caused this DHS shutdown, which is making life miserable for Americans. There is your screaming culture.
There's a reason the book's not called Make America Scream Again. We've mastered the art of screaming. We know how to do that. I'll tell you, I was on a campus a few days ago, and I had a student get up and debate me, and she said, Republicans are evil because these ICE agents are kidnapping people. And I said, well, they might be the worst kidnappers ever because they're taking people back home. Kidnappers don't typically return the person to their home.
Right.
And these illegals need to go back to their home. They should be deported years ago. They should have never been allowed in. We talk about airports, for example. I was in the Atlanta airport waiting in the 2-hour line to get here to your studio to make it to this interview. A lot of people don't want to blame where the actual blame should be put on the Democrats. Thank a Democrat when you wait in these long TSA lines. Think about this, for example. When you're sitting in that line, and the Atlanta line was outside the airport, just for you check your bag.
5 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours.
And then you go stand outside the airport in the hot sun to wait for this TSA officer to scan you. Thank a Democrat, because these people value the illegal aliens' vote so much that they're willing to see you sit and suffer because they know that they cannot get reelected without their vote. Very simple policy of getting the SAVE Act passed. They will not do it, and they would prefer to see you suffer. And another complaint, and this goes on some Republicans too, we have to keep Congress working. We cannot go on this recess that they're wanting to take for Easter. You know how religious I am. You know how much I value the holiday of Easter. They're wanting to take a 2-week holiday for a 1-day holiday. It cannot happen. No. Think of this, for example. If I didn't turn in my homework before spring break said, I would get a punishment. I would get a bad grade. Sure. Except Congress continues to fail to do their job, to fail to fund the government, and they still go on a 2-week vacation and take our tax dollars home. That's not acceptable.